Hi everyone, and welcome to the Introduction to C# in Unity series. So in this tutorial, we're going to be talking about the else-if conditional statement used along with the if conditional statement and the else block. So the else-if conditional statement is used to specify a new condition to test if the first condition specified in the if block evaluates to false. And here is the syntax for an else-if block. And let's take a look at an example. So in my Unity editor, I already have my cube object here, and the cube controller script is attached to my cube object. And let's take a look at this script. So not much going on, using my namespaces at the top, the cube controller class, which extends from the monobehavior class. And because we're using the monobehavior class, we can use the start and update event methods. Now, let's go ahead and first declare a few variables. So I'm going to declare int num1. So num1 is a variable whose value will be of the integer data type, and this has a value of 10. Then I'm going to declare another int variable, so int num2, which is equal to, let's say, 30. And then int num3 is equal to 0. So I'm going to use if, else-if, and else to compare these integer variables. And like I previously stated, that conditional statements are often used with comparison and equality operators. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So in my start event method, first I'm going to structure an if conditional statement like so. Then I'm going to put an else if like this, so else if, and then once again let's structure it, and lastly I'm going to structure my else block like so. So this is the syntax for if, else if, and else used together. And you can have more than one else if in here, so you could have a couple of them. Okay, so in the if conditional statement, I'm going to check if num1 is less than num2. Okay, now if so if num1 is less than num2, then I want to increment num3 by 1. So we're using the increment operator out here with the plus sign, which is going to add 1 to the existing value of num3, which is 0, if this condition is true. So if num1 is less than num2. And then I'm going to use debug.log to log the value of num3. Now in my else if conditional statement, I'm going to check if num1 is greater than num2. If this is true, so if num1 is greater than num2, I am going to now decrement num3 by 1. So with the minus sign. So this means subtract 1 from the existing value of num3. And then I'm going to use debug.log to log the value of num3. And now in my else block, I'm just going to use a debug.log statement to log the string both conditions evaluated to false. Okay, so if both the conditions, so condition number 1 in if and condition number 2 in the else if, evaluate to false, then I am going to execute the debug.log statement inside the else block. So let's Control S and let's try this out. Now, what do you think is going to be logged to the console? So just as a hint, if this evaluates to true, then this will be logged to the console. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this out. So I'm going to click on play, and here is logged to the console, which is the value of num3. So this condition, 10 is less than num2, was correct, right? So it evaluated to true. So num3 was incremented by 1, so 0 plus 1 is equal to 1, which is why we see 1 logged here in the console. Okay, now let's change this so that this condition in the if conditional statement will be false. So what do you think will be logged now? So let's save this. And now heading back to the editor, let's clear, click play. So we have -1 logged now. And this is because num1 is not less than num2, so this evaluated to false. And next we come to the else if condition. Okay, so like I previously stated, that else if is used to specify a new condition to test if the first condition in the if conditional statement is evaluated to false. Okay, so num1 greater than num2, so 40 is greater than num2, which is 30, and then we decrement num3 by 1, so 0 minus 1 is -1. Okay, now let me clear this. Okay, now let's change this so that they're actually equal to each other. Okay, so num1 and num2 are now equal to each other. So what do you think will log in this case? And let's test this. So here you can see that both conditions evaluated to false is logged to the screen. And this is because num1 is not less than num2, so this evaluated to false. Num1 is not greater than num2, this also evaluated to false, and therefore the code in the else block executed. And that's pretty much it for this tutorial. Go ahead and hit like and subscribe if you found this useful.